feel your breath on my shoulder. And I know we couldn't get any closer. I don't want to act tough. I just want to fall in love as we move into the night. I get crazy thinking how it's going to be with you, baby. I don't want to play rough. I've been loving you enough. Oh, baby. That's the beginning, the opening to one of my favorite love songs. So whenever I spit a love song, y'all know we're getting ready to talk about love. Now, last week when you guys came to see me, we were talking about a sacred union. And I got a lot of questions from people about how exactly and what exactly does it look like, you know? So I'm going to answer some questions about the sacred union, and we're going to have a nice little chat. But first, I'm Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and smack the bell that's directly next to it. Likewise, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and don't forget to drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you can, please stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read 2 of my favorite positive comments from previous videos. And one of them might be yours, or you might just enjoy what I have to say in response to the comment. And underneath this video, if you want to get a reading done, you can email me and I'll give you an appointment. Likewise, my social media is under this video. My Patreon is underneath this video. And my PayPal information is underneath this video in case you would like to send a love donation. Also, my Ask an Aquarius merchandise is underneath this video. So check it out underneath this video. Everything you might need is underneath there. So the sacred union, right? So we talked about this sacred union, and we said that for a lot of people, the sacred union is basically what they want to create in their relationship. So people were like, you know, what does the sacred union look like? So I took a look at some works. I have a book I'm going to put underneath this video too. And the book talks a lot more in detail about what I'm getting ready to tell you right now. But this is basically what I found from looking up how people discuss and create a sacred relationship. First of all, a sacred relationship doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but if you want it to be, it definitely can be. And there are basically 4 elements to the sacred relationship. And I'm going to give you the first one. The first element to a sacred relationship is to be devoted to each other. Now, this is really important because in a lot of relationships, one person is devoted but not the other. And this can switch over time. Sometimes I see one member of the couple devoted and the other member is not. And then the other member decides to be devoted and the first member they're not on board anymore. So this can change over time. But for a sacred relationship, both people need to be devoted to each other. And Google gave us a very basic and easy definition of devoted that I think we can use for this. It says to be very loving and loyal. So the first element of this sacred relationship is for both people to be loving towards each other and loyal to each other. So if either one of you is not being loyal to the relationship or not being honest with the other person, you cannot possibly establish a sacred relationship. So that's something that has to immediately change. Number 2. The second element of a sacred relationship is that both people, once again, both of them at the same time, are committed to the relationship. So again, we have a definition to see how commitment is similar to devoted, but a little bit different. According to Google, it says here that when somebody is committed to something, they are dedicated to that thing. The other word they said before was devoted. So you're devoted, you're dedicated to that thing as well. So you're not just showing up, showing love and loyalty, but you're also showing dedication. So when things get tough, or when that person getting on your nerves, if you're dedicated to this relationship, you're going to find creative ways, productive ways to work through it whenever possible. Okay, so we have that vibration coming from committed. The third thing a sacred relationship should be is communicative. In a sacred relationship, both people are communicating with each other verbally and non-verbally, and they're keeping it real with each other. They're telling each other exactly what it is they feel in the moment. Now, they are probably going to say this in the kindest way, because you want to be kind to your partner, obviously, but you want to be honest with your partner, and you both want to talk through things until there's a resolution. Being dishonest with your partner or holding things from your partner. Some people tell me, oh, I just didn't tell him. That's still being dishonest. Omission is dishonest, especially if you know it's important information to the other person. So that's the third one is communicative. And the last one, according to them, a sacred relationship has intimacy. Okay, so what is intimacy? Well, Google tells us that intimacy is a private and personal relationship. So both people the personal part is the time you spend together and, mano a mano. But the first part is said a private and personal relationship. Now, the couple can decide to reveal whatever they want to reveal, but it should be between the couple. The intimacy, the privacy, the personal time is between the couple, and then they decide what they present to other people, or say to other people, or don't say to other people. So if a relationship has intimacy, these two people are probably very close, because remember it said a personal, private relationship. So intimacy doesn't have to actually be making love, even though making love is part of intimacy. But it also encompasses the communicative aspect, the talking, the spending time together, the holding hands, the really just connecting with each other. So a sacred relationship would have all four of these elements. So again, no relationship is perfect, but if you have these four elements, you do have something you can work with, and you can create this sacred union with this person that you've decided to dedicate yourself to. So it's a very beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, but it's not something that you can create with anybody. I know as I was saying these, you got to be thinking to yourself, this is pretty intense. This is pretty serious. This is really like, opening myself to another person and trusted another person and dedicating myself to a relationship. And relationships are gambles. So you've dedicated yourself to something that is a gamble that may or may not actually work out, but you dedicate yourself to it anyway, because this is the sacred union that you want to create. And if you're both on the same page with all of these things, you'll be able to create that sacred union. The problem is that a lot of people want to create these things with a person that is not willing to be involved. They're not willing to create a sacred union. They don't want to be committed to the relationship. They don't want to dedicate themselves to the relationship. A lot of times this is where these friends with benefits relationships come in. They want to be intimate, or intimate. They want the intimacy aspect, but not the other three parts. So if you're being intimate with someone and you want all four and they just want one, you now have a dilemma. So remember, this has to be a reciprocal energy, and you can't just go by lip service with these things. You have to see these things. Like, when they talk about intimacy and being committed and being devoted, I can tell you that. I can sit here and say, I'm so committed and devoted to you, and then walk out the door and be with another woman, 15 minutes later. So it has to be something that you feel coming from them. You see it in their actions, not just the gerby gerb they spit in your ear. You want to see it in their actions and their behavior, and it needs to be shown in your actions, your behavior, your energy as well. And then you have that. So if it was me and I was coming upon someone, because one of the people that, one of the subscribers, she said to me that she's in a relationship with this gentleman and she wants a sacred relationship, but she isn't sure about him. So I was like, well, talk to him about it, because he needs to be willing and on board for this to go, for it to go down properly, right? You're asking this person to be your partner. You're asking for a partnership. So they have to come into that partnership understanding what it means. Number one, I would even tell them, like, look, this is what I want. Send them my video and be like, this is what I want, and ask them, is this something that you can see yourself, even if it's not now, later on down the line, is this something you could see yourself being able to do? And if they tell you no, accept that and move on. Okay? That's the thing about this. You need somebody who's ready and eager. You want an eager participant, okay? So that's how you create a sacred union. You talk to this person, you discuss these concepts, you date for a significant amount of time, because honestly, you have to be around the person for a little while to even see if you really want to commit to them. Sometimes people come to me and they've just met somebody, like in the past couple of weeks, and they're saying to me, like, does this person care about me? Do they want to be with me? And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. You don't even know if you want to be with them. You don't know them yet. So slow your biscuit, slow your roll, So it can be created. You just have to take your time. A sacred union is not going to be fast. You're not going to meet somebody Tuesday and you're in a secret union by Thursday. It's not going to work like that. You got to take your time with it. According to the ancients and the greats, you have to take your time. So let's take a look now at some of our positive comments, and then I'll respond to them. The first one is from Megan Moore. Hey, Megan. Megan said, as is my favorite pastime, I'm binge watching your videos. Part about not dating abusers hit pretty hard. Yeah. Think I needed to hear it. It took me years to escape. You're a rare gemstone queen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, not dating abusers. As soon as you identify that somebody is abusive, I strongly suggest that you disengage immediately. That energy, especially if you see it early, that means they can't hide it. It's really, if you see it early, it's really bad because they can't hide it from you. Most people who are abusive or narcissistic, they can hide it for a little while. Like a lot of people say the first couple of months are beautiful. You don't even know that anything is wrong in the situation the first few months. So it takes a little bit of time. So if you see it early, that means they can't hide it and it's really bad. So as soon as you identify abuse in another person, you need to escape. That's my advice. I would never hang around or try to fix things or help them or none of that kind of stuff. You're putting yourself in danger. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Thank you so much for your comment. This one came from Miss Riri Lilac 84. You spoke facts when you said Libras procrastinate. I'm trying to work on it, but not making the wrong decision is uber important to me. I agree with you 100%. That's important to me too. But Libras, I'm not talking about big things, okay? When it's a big decision, like to buy a house, to buy a car, to have a kid, to move your job, something major, I totally can understand indecision. Procrastination, indecision, I understand all of that. But if I ask you, what do you want for dinner? Okay? It should not take all day long for you to decide that you want a burger and fries, okay? You should be able to make certain decisions, the unimportant ones, I'm going to say, a little quicker than you do. Now, this young lady, Miss Riri Lilac 84, I don't know if you're that bad, but I have had friends. I've known a lot of Libras. Libra is one of my favorite signs. So I've known a lot of them. And I know some of them who couldn't even decide on something from the menu at the restaurant. Okay, so we're sitting there, and 45 minutes in, she's still trying to figure out which entree she wants. I'm like, you know what? At this point, just order them both. Order both of them, eat one here, and we'll take one with us. Okay. So I totally get it when it comes to important things. I'm talking about those small things, like, what do you want for Christmas? I ask my Libra this question every year. We were friends for 10 years. I asked her this question every year for 10 years. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? And every year for 10 years, she had to go through changes to figure out what she wanted, and would end up telling me, just get me whatever you want. I done waited 15 days for you to tell me what to get, and then you say, just get whatever you want. So Libras, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, the bigger things, I'm with you on that. It is important to make the right decisions in life, okay? All right, guys. You guys come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. Happy New Year. See you later.